that they're from the tribe of Naphtali, that's pure nonsense. Or that the Venezuelans are Asher because of the oil that's in their land. That's just pure conjecture. There's oil all over the planet, so that's a moot point for determining who the tribe of Asher is. There are areas in Africa that have oil and the land is rich. As a matter of fact, Africa probably has the richest soil and the greatest resources on the planet. This is why the land has been raped and plundered and pillaged and robbed for centuries by the same people who raped the populations of indigenous people worldwide. All of this raping going on, it kind of coincides with Matthew the 13th chapter, which talks about how the wicked one was going to go about sowing his seed in the earth and bringing forth children among the wheat. They call those tares. See, now, all of this gets kind of deep when you start putting things into perspective. So trying to pretend like some Israelites are black and then now they're all of a sudden almost white because of mixing, but disregarding the fact that the Most High told us not to mix with these other nations to begin with, that's ludicrous if you claim to be all about the truth. The fact of the matter is, there was a plan conjured up by whomever to justify marrying women of other nations and diminishing the so-called Israelite seed.
The bottom line is, those that establish the 12 tribes chart have an agenda. They are joining themselves with strange women and establishing their own righteousness. First Ezra chapter 9 verse 8 states, "Ye have transgressed the law and married strange wives, thereby you have increased the sins of Israel." The establishment of the 12 tribes chart has shook the very foundation of our awakening and sent many into a tailspin. We've already had to endure having our entire culture taken by those that claim to be Jews and are not. But now we want to just give our heritage to another? The world is awakening to who the true Israelites are. Isaiah the 14th chapter got folks reconsidering this 1948 so-called regathering of the Jews in Israel, because it has been the total opposite of what the Bible said would happen. Instead of the world being in peace and breaking forth with singing, it has been utter chaos and war with those so-called Jews. The establishment of who we are as Israelites does not mean that other nations cannot be grafted into the Messiah. But we can't just go around penciling in tribes to satisfy our lust for strange women. This is a direct rebellion against the word and the will of the Father. The Bible clearly shows where the true Israelites are and where the Messiah is going to gather his people. Judah, he's going to gather from the four corners of the earth. But the other tribes, he will gather from beyond the rivers of Cush in Africa.
Okay. When he said Judah, he talking about the house of Judah. He talking about the house of Judah. Because when you look at the book of Chronicles, and you know the book, which are the book of records, and the book of Kings, when you read about who went into Babylon, all the tribes that went into Babylon, it's not just the tribe of Judah. You know what I'm saying? Today, we in modern day Babylon. You know, it wasn't just the tribe of Judah. It was also Benjamin. It was a lot of Levites. There was no Levites that cling to the house of Israel, aka the Northern Kingdom tribe. So don't be swayed by their doctrine. You know what I'm saying? Read the history of the Israelites. It's in there. You just gotta read it. Pick up the book and read. Search the scriptures to show yourself approved. You know what I'm saying? It was not just the tribe of Judah alone. You know what I'm saying? They didn't deal with the scribes and the Pharisees alone. You know what I'm saying? Prime example, the Sadducees. When you look up the root word of Sadducee, it's talking about the children of Zadok. You know what I'm saying? Or the people of Zadok. You know what I'm saying? You know Zadok, the Levite. You know what I'm saying? So it's all about the priests. So, it is what it is. Just gotta do your research and read. And when you read the book of Timothy and the book of Titus, you know they spoke about Paul the apostle, which is a messenger. So he another disciple of the Mashiach, you know what I'm saying? Another disciple of the Mashiach, he sent a message to Timothy, you know what I'm saying, in his letters about avoiding genealogies and all these controversies and strange doctrines. Don't dive into those things. You don't even have to debunk those unless the Spirit comes onto you, you know what I'm saying, to debunk it. You know what I'm saying? You got to beware of this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Look it up. You got to avoid strange controversies. You know, but you got to walk by faith, not by sight. That 12 tribe chart is by sight. You know what I'm saying? What do you believe more? The scriptures itself? You believe in the scriptures itself? Or do you believe what do you really believe that you got to physically see something before your eyes? You know what I'm saying? You don't believe? Think about it. Have you met the Messiah in person, but yet you believe? Come on, man. And you believe in all the miracles and all this stuff? Come on now. You don't need no 12 tribe chart. Because just straight up to the point, when you look up the when you dive into the book, let's go to it. Mark 9:7. You see this right here? You see this? Then the cloud appeared and enveloped them. You know what I'm saying? And a voice came from the cloud. This is my son whom I love. Listen to him. That's the Most High. That's why the watchman was saying, you know what I'm saying, about paying attention and obeying and listening. You got to listen to the Father, because the Father said it himself to listen to the Son. That's how the sheep is gonna be gathered. And then it says, suddenly when they looked around, they no longer saw anyone with them except Yahshua. You know what I'm saying? Except the Prince of Peace. Who was there with him? Who was there with him? Elijah and Moses. You know what I'm saying? Having a conversation with Yahshua. You see what I'm saying? Because they appeared before them in dazzling white. You see what I'm saying? You see how I'm going back with it? You know what I'm saying? You have to require the past. You see what I'm saying? Who bear witness to this? Peter, James, and John, three of the disciples of the 12 disciples. You know what I'm saying? Cause everybody trying to seek the kingdom. You know what I'm saying? Don't be fooled by these philosophies and vain deceits. You know what I'm saying? Don't let these counts fool you, and pay attention to what these folks teach. Study to show yourself approved. Amen.